And we are live. Welcome back with Murphy Mac to another episode of the Fitness Beginner Podcast, where we help you get started on your fitness journey. What is up, folks? Happy Sunday. Or if you're listening to this in the morning, happy Monday. Be careful going to work. I don't really have much to update y'all. I'm going to go ahead and just hop straight into the podcast today. And today's podcast topic, I said that weird. Topic is the scale is lying to you. It is lying to you. And I say that like jokingly, because obviously the scale is not necessarily lying, but it can sometimes be misleading. So that's what we're gonna get into today. We're gonna talk about how the scale may or may not be the most accurate form or way to track your fitness progress. So when I say the scale, I'm obviously talking about a weight scale, like the scale you get on to weigh your body to see how much you weigh. And I want to say, like, the scale, it can be useful, and it is useful. So obviously, it measures your weight. It can help track your progress over time. It's going to give you a good glimpse of how much you weigh that day. If you're losing weight, if the scale is going down, obviously that's a good thing. If your goal is to lose weight, you're getting healthier, and it can motivate you to keep going. So there is some good things to a weight scale, and they're not all bad. And I personally use a weight scale. I'm not saying don't use it by no means. We're going to talk about how it may not be telling you the most important things. It may not be 100% accurate as far as what your goals are. So when it comes to a weight scale, there can be some weight fluctuations. One, your scale could be off a little bit depending on what scale you use. And then two, your body weight is going to fluctuate a lot throughout the day. So, and that's just due to things like water, how much water your body's holding, how much food you ate that day, the clothes that you're wearing. So things like that. I mean, you have to keep that in mind when weighing. So obviously when you weigh yourself, the best thing to do is to weigh yourself at the same exact time every time you weigh. I just weigh myself every day. You don't necessarily have to weigh yourself every day. And for some people, I'd recommend you don't do that, because if you're one of those people that pays too close attention to the numbers, it's probably best that you don't weigh yourself every day. But yeah, let's see. Yeah, I don't know what I lost my thought right there. But we're gonna talk about some ways that the scale can be accurate. I mean, it can be accurate if you're consistently measuring yourself at the same time every day. I would suggest doing it in the morning, and do it either in your underwear or do it naked. That way you don't have clothes on, because that way they don't add no extra weight to you. And this can give you a reliable snapshot of your weight. And as you track this over time, like long term, it can give you a trend, which either that trend is going to be going up, it's going to go down, or it's going to stay the same. So over weeks, over months, the scale is going to show trends in either weight loss or weight gain. This is going to help you know if what you're doing is working, if you're going in the right direction. You want to make sure you're monitoring that specific goal, whether that be you're trying to lose weight or you're trying to build muscle, trying to gain muscle, because that may mean the scale is going to go up. So that's some ways that it can be accurate, but some ways that it could be inaccurate, maybe not the most accurate, is daily fluctuations. So obviously, depending on how much water your body's retaining, how much food you ate, and any like other factors, weighing yourself before or after a big meal, this is going to fluctuate a little bit. Muscle versus fat. So depending on how much muscle you have on your frame or how much fat you have on your body, it's going to change the scale. So gaining muscle while you lose weight may not show a decrease on the scale, even though your body composition is changing. So you may be losing body fat, but if you're working out, you may be gaining muscle at the same time, so that it may stay the same, or you may even gain some weight. But you can tell by your body composition. Oh yeah, and then another thing is a weight scale cannot track like your natural body changes, so like hormonal changes, especially in women, that can affect your weight. For example, like your menstrual cycles and things like that, you may hold on to some more water. You may temporarily gain some weight. So obviously, this is not like a good time to track your weight, because, well, obviously you're gonna gain some weight then, but this is why you want to do it for long periods of time, over weeks, months. You want to see the trends. You don't just want to see the day-to-day activity. And obviously, you're gonna have kind of short-term changes, like sudden weight changes can occur due to temporary factors like dehydration or illness. things that don't reflect like long-term health. So the reason I say like the scale may be lying to you is because you may see one number on the scale, but that number may not reflect what your actual goal is. Yeah, it's going to give you an accurate number of what your body weight is that day, but if your goal was to lose weight, but you're working out and you're gaining muscle at the same time, well, you can't just rely on that one number because a lot of people will live and die by that number they see on the scale, but they don't look into the mirror and see what their body actually looks like. They may see the number going up or they may see the number staying the same, and they're like, in their head psychologically they're thinking, well, I ain't made no progress. I'm not losing no weight, which really you are, because if you're losing body fat but gaining muscle, you're technically losing weight. You're gaining it back in muscle. So that's what we want. We want body composition. You don't necessarily want to just lose overall weight. You want to lose fat. You want to lose body fat. There's a difference between losing weight and losing fat. You want to lose fat, not some. Yeah, you get what I'm saying. So that's why I say you can use the scale as a tool if you really want to, but you don't have to use it at all. Honestly, there's some other factors that we're going to hop in here in just a minute. I'm going to give y'all some other ways to track your progress that's not the scale, and some ways that I actually prefer over using the scale. But a scale is also good to use because it does give you a quick snapshot of your weight for that day. But the best way to use a scale is to use it over a week's time or over a month's time so you can see the trend. Use it for trends, not day-to-day body weights, because that's going to fluctuate a lot. My body weight, for example, fluctuates anywhere from 3, 4, 5 pounds a day. Like in the morning, I'll weigh 5 pounds less than I weigh in the afternoon. And that's just due to me eating food, me drinking water, things like that. If you're sick, your body you may weigh a little less, or if you just had a really big meal or something, or if you ate something that you don't normally eat, your body may be retaining water. If you just had a surgery, or if you just did a really long training block or exercise or something, this can all affect the way your body holds on to muscle. If you're under a lot of stress, your weight may fluctuate a little bit. So these are all ways that it's going to change. So I don't necessarily think the scale should be the thing you live or die by. Don't just go by the scale. There's other ways that you can track, which we're going to get into in here in just a minute. But yeah, some other ways to measure progress, and in my opinion, these are better. I mean, it's going to depend on you, what you like and what you prefer. But again, all of them, I would say use them for over a week's time or a month's time, not just a day-to-day measurement. But number one is body measurements. So using like a measuring tape, and this can like measuring your actual muscles, like your bodies. Like you'll do your chest, your waist, your thighs, your hips, your arms. You actually measure how big they are. And this is a good way to see the measurements of your body, obviously. So depending on what your goal is, if you want to lose weight, those measurements should be going down. Or if you want to build muscle, they should be going up in certain areas, depending on where your body holds your fat at. It's going to be different from person to person, but it's especially going to be different from male or female. The male and female body holds body fat in different ways. So that will be dependent on what your goal is and what your sex is. Number two is progress photos, and this is probably my favorite way, just because it's so easy. It's a lot easier to see in a progress photo if you've made results. Honestly, the body measurements is good too, because you can see if your arms gotten bigger or smaller. But like I said, if you're gaining muscle and you're also losing weight, you may not see the biggest difference in that number. Because if you lost some fat, say in your arms, but you gained some muscle in your arm at the same time, it may kind of stay around the same number. So this is why I like progress photos a little better. What you want to do is just take photos of yourself from different angles. It could be in the mirror, don't have to be in the mirror. However you want to, you can have somebody take them for you. But this is an easy way to, I would say, do it on a week interval. Do it at least once a week. And then you can compare these images over time, and it'll allow you to see those visual changes in your body shape. Because you're going to see your body every day. Like you're going to look in the mirror when you're getting ready in the morning and things like that every single day. So it's hard to see the progress when you see it every single day, because you see yourself every day, so you won't really see the progress. But other people can see it. Like if they hadn't seen you in a while or something, they'll be able to tell. But this is why I highly suggest take progress photos, because this will be the easiest way you can compare them. You can take a photo from when you first started and literally put it side by side to a photo of you now, and this will be the best way for you to see the progress that you've made. It's a visual reference. It's a lot easier. Number 3, your body fat percentage. So you can use tools like a skin fold caliper or any kind of like body fat percentage machine that will test your body fat. These scales, they'll give you a clearer picture of what your body weight from your muscles is compared to the weight from fat. So it'll kind of like tell you the difference between fat and muscle, and so you can kind of use this as a metric. Again, body fat percentage is going to vary depending on the person. Women tend to have higher body fats than men, depending on like your height, your weight, things like that. This is going to change. But body fat, if you're trying to lose weight, obviously, if your body fat percentage goes down, then hey, that's a good indicator that you're losing weight. Or if you're trying to, maybe you're going to bulk up, if you're trying to put on some weight a little bit, hey, your body fat percentage is probably going to go up a little bit. Number 4, your fitness performance. So keep track of your performance in your exercise. Log your exercise. Keep a workout log. And this is a good way to see if you're making progress, because if you're getting stronger, if that's your goal, if you're lifting weights, trying to get stronger, track it so you can compare your weights now to what you were doing 3 months ago. And if that weight's higher, then obviously you're making progress. You're getting stronger, and that's what you want. So, but if you don't track your progress, you're probably not going to really remember how much you were doing back then. So this is an easy way to see if you're making progress or not. Also, it don't just have to be how much weight you're lifting. It could be how many reps you're doing. It could be how fast you're running. If your goal is to run, like if you're training for a race or something. So improvements can indicate that you had muscle gain or increased strength. So fitness performance is something you should track as well. Number 5, and this is a big one. I feel like this one hits home for a lot of people, and that's how your clothes fit. Because everybody already knows you have that favorite pair of jeans that you used to wear all the time that you don't fit in no more. But hey, you start losing weight, you can fit in them jeans. Or the clothes that you're wearing, maybe they're a little looser. Maybe you have to pull your belt one loop tighter because you're losing weight in your waist. So you can tell how your clothes fit if you're building muscle or if you're losing weight, whatever it is. See, for me, my favorite thing is when I fill out my shirts and my arm sleeves get a little tight. That makes me feel good. You know what I'm saying? That makes me think, hey, my arms are getting bigger because I'm getting stronger. So this is how I like to use the clothing fit. I noticed a lot when I lost a bunch of weight for my Ironman and the same for my bodybuilding show. I lost a bunch of weight and all my clothes were huge. They were way too big for me. And I didn't necessarily like I had to start buying mediums and things because I got too small and I didn't like my shirts swallowing me whole. But now that I've put on a little bit more weight, I can fill them out again. And that's just an easy indicator of if I'm getting bigger or if I'm getting smaller, how your clothes fit. Number 6, energy levels and your well-being. This is a big one as well. Just you can keep like a journal of how you feel, how your energy levels are, how your mood is, your overall well-being. I know some people don't like to take it to that extreme, but it'd be easy to track like in your workout log. Just write down, hey, how you're feeling that day. This would be a good way to track it. But feeling more energetic, being more positive about life and everything, this can be a clear sign of improvement, that you're just making progress in your fitness journey. Because working out, getting healthier, improving your health, losing weight or building muscle, whatever your goal is, that's going to make you have more energy. It's going to make you feel better about yourself. Number 7, your endurance and your stamina. So how long it takes you to perform certain activities. Maybe, like I said earlier, if you're training for a race, so running, cycling, swimming, just doing things for longer durations than what you started at, that's obviously going to be a sense of improvement. If you're getting faster in your mile, that's improvement. If you can run further, like if you started at 3 miles and now you're running 7 miles, well, obviously you're making progress. So that's a good way that you can track to make sure you're making progress. Number 8, your workout consistency. So monitoring how often and how consistently you're sticking to your workout routine. This can be key to achieving your goals, whatever that may be. If you're being consistent with it, then obviously you're getting closer to that goal. You're being like, you're more excited about working out and doing that thing and getting healthier. So this is all going to have like a trickle down effect on how much progress and improvement that you're making. Because if you're not really seeing results, you're not really going to want to go. So you're probably going to start skipping workouts, not going to the gym, not doing your runs. But if you're being consistent and it's getting better over time, then that's probably a sign that you're making some kind of improvement. And then number 9, the last one is your health markers. So if you have access to health screenings, you want to track things like your blood pressure, your cholesterol levels, your blood sugar levels. So improvements in these areas can indicate just better overall health. So if your blood work is getting better, then that's a clear sign that you're getting healthier, that you're making progress, that you're getting closer to that goal. So those are a few ways that you can measure progress that you may not have necessarily thought about, but they're better indicators in my opinion than just tracking your weight on the scale. My most or my one I think is the most important that you can see it the easiest is taking progress photos. So I would suggest doing that. But hey, if your thing is a scale, that's cool too. Like I said, I weigh myself every morning because I have it right there by my sink where I get ready. I just have it right there beside me. So every morning after I use a restroom, I'll just hop right on it because it's right there beside my toilet and my sink. I do it every day just because it's there and it gives me an idea of what I'm at. But I try not to obsess about it. Like if I wake up and I'm 2 or 3 pounds heavier than I was yesterday, I don't freak out about it because I know that I didn't gain 3 pounds overnight. Like that's just temporary. That's just because I'm either holding water or something's going on. But the best way to track this is just over a week's time. Like for that week, did you gain any weight? Did it go down? Like what was your average for that week or for that month or for every 2 weeks? Whatever your scale is you want to use. But I would suggest to do it week to week. So what was your average for that week compared to the average of next week? So if you weighed 185 pounds this week over an average of 7 days, well, compare that to next week. Say you average 184 pounds. The next week, well, hey, you lost 1 pound. That's a good way to track it. I wouldn't go, oh, I weighed 185 today, but yesterday I was 182. I wouldn't think, oh, I gained 3 pounds. I'm not gonna freak out about that because that's not necessarily true. So the scale, at the end of the day, it can be useful and it is pretty accurate at getting your actual weight at that moment in time, but it's not your overall weight, if that makes sense. I know it's kind of confusing, but yeah, it can be a good tool to use. And I suggest you do use it, but don't obsess over it. Don't freak out about it. Don't make it your end all be all way of measuring your progress. Use these other measurement tracking, other ways of tracking your progress, as well as using the scale. Use it all together, and this can give you a better understanding of how much progress you've actually made in your fitness journey. But yeah, that's all I got to y'all today. Y'all let me know. Or do you use what are some ways you track your progress? Do y'all use a weight scale? Do y'all obsess over it? I know some people kind of have that. They kind of freak out if they see the number go up. But yeah, that's all I got for y'all today. Tune in next week for another episode of the Fitness Beginner Podcast. Peace, love, protein. We out.